on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service.
Or 20 years old, and he was supposed to come home like another month or so, and he got killed in October. He should have been home like in November, December. He stepped on the mine and got killed.
Very first funeral I ever went to as a little girl, it was my cousin Merle. I'll never forget it. His body was in such bad shape, there was glass over it, so you couldn't touch it because it wouldn't stay together.
Sir, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service. Sir, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service.
We're doing a pinning here today. What that is each Vietnam member will receive a pin with a certificate that goes with it, declaring Eastover's thankfulness for their service in Vietnam. We also are honoring those members who are not here or not able to be here with us this evening.
And we were so glad to see you all come home and come home safe. But we realized that you left some behind. Not because you wanted to, but simply because that's the way life was. And for those, my heart goes out to their family tonight. And we said thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for letting us have your husbands and your wives who fought so hard in Vietnam for us.
Sir, I am a Vietnam vet. Judge Kemp is my name, and I reside here in Spring Lake. And it seems like this week we are all getting the welcome that we've been deserving a long time ago. Everywhere I go, somebody wants to say thank you for your service.
We're so happy here at Spring Lake to welcome our veterans, because the truth of the matter is Fort Bragg and the military have made a great, great contribution to this town of Spring Lake. Without Fort Bragg, I really don't think we would be anything other than a little country town growing tobacco, cotton, and maybe even sweet potatoes. So thanks to the military for your outstanding contribution, and also for the men and women who have settled in this town even after they retire, because Spring Lake is truly a wonderful place to live, and we want to make it a better place going forward.
It's just great to be here this afternoon to honor our doggone heroes, the Vietnam veterans and their families. Just want to say thank you for all they have done. They never got the warm welcome back in the 70s when they came home. But we just want to take time out of town of Spring Lake to tell everybody thank you for your service, and we appreciate all they've done for our nation.
I'm here with my daughter, Francesca Leggett. We're here representing my husband, Franklin O'Neill Leggett, who got killed in Vietnam on April 4th, 1968. A few days before his 19th birthday. He was 18 years old. At the time, I had my baby that he had never seen. She was only 2.5 months old, and he really wanted to see his child, but he kept saying that he would not come back. Before he left Cumberland County, he said he would never return alive, and he did not. But my grandmother told me that a person always knows when they are not going to return, and Many days and nights I grieved and I cried, and I still grieve for my husband. My daughter and myself, we still grieve for my husband and wish that he was here, but it was not meant to be. It was the Lord's will for him to go where he left this world.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, riding high into the sun, look out, because here they come, soon to meet our thunder.
Sun bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streamed.
I got stationed at Fort Bragg, 82nd Airborne, headquarters, 2nd 504. From there, I got sent to Vietnam. Went to Vietnam for a little while, came back, and when I came back, they said, don't let anybody know you were in Vietnam. I'm like, why? Because you won't be welcome. I said, okay. So we hid it for a long time. And then they had a welcome home. I think it was in 2011 when things started to change for the Vietnam veterans. Downtown, they brought the traveling wall. And they welcomed us finally for what we suffered over in Vietnam. It's kind of hard to talk about it now, even still today. But Fayetteville has done a great job in welcoming us home. And most of the places that I go now, if they see I have something on that says Vietnam, they'll say, welcome home. And they'll thank me for my service.
Can't be more proud to be out here today to honor our veterans, to honor our soldiers who are with us, who are away from us, who are away from their families. But we can't be more excited to have this whole week of events celebrating our soldiers, celebrating our Vietnam veterans, celebrating our community, and we're just so proud to have it kicking off right here in Hope Mills.
Heroes Homecoming in Cumberland County is a great event. It means the celebration of the sacrifice and the patriotism and the duty of all the folks all the veterans, especially in this case, those who went to Vietnam and those who fought in Vietnam. And we should all be thankful for what they did and and the effort they made and the sacrifice they made. I'm proud to be part of it.
I'd like to thank you, Vietnam veterans, for your service to our great country. We're the greatest country in the world because of you. I served in '65 with the 1st Cav Division in the Battle of Ia Drang. And kind of first day of the battle, I was wounded in action and it kind of ruined my day. I got shot in the jaw. But after recuperating and spending a couple more years, I loved soldiers. I hated war. But all the soldiers that were staying in were going back for second tours. So I felt I should go back too. And I volunteered and went back again in '69 and made it through the whole year. Commanded a company, was Battalion S2, and just had a very good tour in all of '69 with the 1st Cav Division again.
We just finished a marvelous session with 3 Medal of Honor recipients from the Vietnam War. And what an inspirational and humorous time we had talking about some of the things that go on when that actual award hits your hands and you're suddenly the recipient of it.
To me, Heroes Homecoming means a time that the guys can stand up proud. I know during Vietnam, I never experienced it, but a lot of the guys say, yeah, they were spit on and they were called baby killers and all that. Like I say, I never experienced it, but I can understand where they're coming from, because if you look at the way the recipients were treated during the Vietnam era versus the way they're treated today, is day and night.
Yeah, just wanted to say hey to all the veterans who are out there. The Cumberland County community is truly one of the remarkable ones in this country. You know, how it welcomes us all home. Everybody here understands the price that we pay defending this country. And Cumberland County is always doing everything they can to say welcome home.
I think that anyone who seriously studies the things that our military does around the world and have done around the world for many years has to have a deep and abiding appreciation for the courage and the selflessness of Americans who step up to do the kind of jobs that most of us are never required to do or asked to do. And I think they deserve our lasting respect, and they deserve a lot of the service and care that our country can provide for the rest of their lives.
I'm really honored today to be here to celebrate with my fellow comrades and the new soldiers coming on and that are here serving our nation. We all need to be very proud of what the commitment these young men have made. They deserve to be treated well. It was a lot different when we first came back as Vietnam veterans, and it's time now that we've started to make up for that. And I think that shows a great deal of patriotism, and that needs to be continued because these men and women put their lives on the line for this country, and they need to be respected and honored throughout the nation.
It's better and better, and I've been here at least 9 out of the last 10 years, and probably been here more than that. My father's from here, my brother's from here, he's retired, I'm retired, my brother did 8 years. This is awesome. I love the patriotism, I love everything that they're showing the veterans, and the veterans returning back the same favor. And these younger people here, what makes me smile because they're the future. My time is done. I wish I could continue, but I have to let the younger people take over and continue to serve this great country of ours.
I thank everybody for what they are doing, and that the followership and leadership goes hand in hand. You have to be a good leader and a good follower. And the patriotism and the respect that I have received after 30 years of military duty, I thank everyone for being here today, and God bless.
Heroes homecoming, no sacrifice!
Hi, I'm Lisa Greathouse, Curator of Education at the Museum of the Cape Fear. We're very honored and pleased to be part of Heroes Homecoming this year. As part of that, we're exhibiting Hugh's Crate. Lieutenant Hugh Wellens died in Vietnam in 1966. The crate was shipped home to his family and put in the family barn and left virtually intact for 40 years. Hugh is the brother of Caroline Parsons, who many people in the community know. We discovered that she had this crate and asked her if she'd be willing to let the museum exhibit it and look inside. As you can see, it is a bit of a time capsule that allows people to see what someone like Hugh was going through, the kind of things he had and did when he was in Vietnam, including a lot of foreign language dictionaries, maps of the area, the flag that you see in the exhibit, and his guitar. He had, like Caroline, who plays a lot of musical instruments, Hugh also played the guitar. Come join us and see Hugh's Crate while it's at the Museum of the Cape Fear. Our telephone number is 910-486-1330, and also look us up, look up Museum of the Cape Fear on our website.
My baby brother, William B., he was killed in 1970 in Binh Dinh province up in Tu Quoc. He gave us everything, which was his life in defense of our country. And I'm proud that we salute the flag and put our hand over our chest whenever its national anthem's played. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, this is a good friend of mine, unfortunately, that was killed in a plane helicopter crash in Vietnam. Lawrence and his family, my family, we were together in Germany. He was an engineer at the time, and I was with the 14th Armored Cav. A great family, and when we had a lot of good times together in Germany, and he was with the 14th Armored Cavalry at the same time I was. And then I visited him when he was an ROTC instructor at the University of Clemson in Florida with his family, my family, when I was on my way back to San Antonio to go to the career course and then Vietnam. Anyway, he was just a tremendous guy and a lovely, lovely family man. His wife has now got over, the death, and she's married to an engineer general and I met her in San Antonio at the time. But Lawrence was just one heck of a guy, and we're so sorry to have, missed him and lost him. But he's just one of the 58,000 on this wall today, and it's such a great honor to honor all these people today in the Veterans Day ceremony.
That was one of our platoon leaders that was killed on May the 8th, 1968.
He was a friend of mine. We grew up in the streets of Brooklyn, Flatbush, in Brooklyn, New York. And he got drafted, I got drafted. I didn't know I was drafted. I had already enlisted and got it while I was in basic training at Fort Dix. I made it home. He was there 90 days and got killed. And the ironic thing was my mom and his mom, they lived in an apartment house. They were both down checking their mail, and they seen the Padre coming in, or the guy that delivered the telegrams, and they both like to died because they knew it was one of them, either me or something happened to him.
He had just gotten married about a year prior to coming to Vietnam. So what we try to do is remember his death every year, our 18th, and we correspond back and forth, and I correspond with his ex-wife. But he was a good man, good lieutenant, he was a good commander. He was getting ready to make captain, and he just didn't quite make it. And it broke our hearts, but I tell you that. But he was the last American killed on that 18 prior to us closing down. We closed down in March of 70. And that's just about the story, That was just about the story.
A friend of mine was a POW in Vietnam, and he spent nearly 5 years in captivity, most of that in isolation. And he will tell you, when you're talking to him about that the things that got him through his captivity were his patriotism and love of country, as well as the support and the love that he received from his family, and his faith through God. They were the things that carried him through, and those are the things that brought him home back to us. And when he came home, he's dedicated his life to supporting our veterans today, and especially those who have yet to return home.
On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service.